Hi everyone, it's Don from Don's Family Vacation, and I have a subscriber requested video today from Maddie O, who's looking for some information on the Norwegian Pearl as they'll be sailing soon. So I wanted to get this video out as fast as I can because I'm leaving in like 5 days for my cruise. So here's a brief rundown of the Norwegian Pearl, and we're going to talk about her right after this. So quickly, the stats on the Norwegian Pearl is she was launched back in 2006. She's around 965 feet long, holds around 2,395 passengers, which is a good amount of passengers for that size of ship. Normally they hold about 400 more than that. So it can make the ship feel a little less crowded. The first thing you're going to want to know about this cruise is the Pearl is often rented out for charters and holds party cruises or music cruises and things like that. They'll have Walking Dead cast members on board to talk about the show. They'll have football players on hosting a party cruise. They'll have music cruises like Kiss or Moody Blues or all kinds of different people on board. So you want to make sure when you're booking, make sure you ask if that cruise line has any kind of charter whatsoever, because it's not always the whole ship that's chartered. It could just be half the ship that's chartered. So that's one of the things you want to make sure of. And if you're looking for some kind of charter cruise, well, the Pearl is one of the most popular ships to have chartered. Now, I would call the Norwegian Pearl a classic cruise ship. And what I mean by that is it's your traditional kind of a cruise ship that you think of. It has pools, restaurants, bars, activities like that, a show stage, but it doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles like huge water parks on board or rope courses or flow riders or bumper cars. It's not going to have those kind of things. It's more for a traditional type of cruise. So what it does have for activities, it has a large pool area. The pool area is actually two pools in one. One is for the kids area and one is for the adults area. It's in the same location, so that area can become clustered a little bit during the sea days, and a lot of hustle and bustle seems to be going around on that time. But I don't really seem to see anyone minding for some reason on this ship. It seems to be kind of expected when you're on there. They also have a full-size basketball court and sports desk where they'll run kids' activities that'll be like team dodgeball and things like that. You can have pickup games of basketball and volleyball. Though you got to be honest, because of the netting that they have overboard, if you have, say in basketball, a high arcing shot into the hoop, well, chances are you're going to hit the net before you'll get to the basket. So keep that in mind as you're going on board as well. To go along with the pools, they have 4 hot tubs. Well, I prefer to call them jacuzzis more than hot tubs because, as you know, on some cruise lines and some ships, they don't tend to be hot a lot of the times. A lot of the times they're not heated, especially if you're in like the Caribbean or something along those lines. So let's just call them 4 jacuzzis for the sake of calling them jacuzzis. On board, the ship does have a showroom. You're not going to see a lot of huge productions in the stage show. If you're lucky, you might see Rock of Ages once in a while and a few shows like that, but normally it's going to be a Broadway style show that the cruise line has produced and put out there. Throughout the area, there's all kinds of music going on. Up on the pool decks, there's music going on. In the atrium themselves, and while the atrium can seem a little underwhelming when you compare it to some of the large ships, it's only 2 stories tall, but it does have a nice meeting area with a huge large screen projection there that they'll hold concerts during the day and pianos and violin recitals and things like that. They'll hold meetings where they'll enrichment shows and things like that, where they'll have guest seminar speakers, and it's a good place for the captain or the crew to hold a meeting if they want to talk to a certain group and things like that. So it does tend to be quite busy during the day and early evenings, and then it kind of clears out later in the evening as people head to the bars and the entertainment that's there. They have 13 bars on board, and so there's lots of different places to go. You can have kind of an Irish pub feel, or you can have a wine tasting kind of feel. There's all kinds of assortments on board to do that, just like the dining. 10 restaurants on a medium-sized ship is an awful lot of restaurants. My personal favorite is Moderno's. It's kind of a Brazilian steakhouse, and the food on board, I've always had a great meal while I'm eating there. So that's my personal recommendation, would be Moderno's on the Pearl. Now first I'm going to cover off a couple things that you should watch out for when you're on the Pearl. First of all, there's no self-serve laundry. They do pick up laundry there, but of course you're going to have to pay for that, and their bags are very small that you send out. So if you have 4 people in your stateroom, you're going to do laundry on a cruise, it can get quite expensive. Another thing is you can't get from one end of the ship to the other on every deck. It's only deck 7 and deck 12 that you can actually cross the ship. Every other deck you're going to have to either go up or down to the 7th or 12th to get across. So keep that in mind if you have mobility issues and things like that. Yeah, it could be a little tricky, and a lot of people tend to get lost in their directions and have to backtrack a lot while they're on this ship. And I almost forgot, one of the new things that they have on this ship that is kind of unique is the dancing disco, but it's not your normal disco, it's a silent disco. So you might have seen some of these in the movies or on other clubs or something like that, where you see all these people just disco dancing their night away, but there's no music playing. Well, they all have headphones on, and so if you want to go over the corner, you can take off your headphones and have a conversation with somebody and not be screaming at them. And then when you're ready to go dance, you go and you put your headphones back on, you go out and dance with the person. So that's a really great idea, and it also keeps the music down to all the different cabins that might be around the disco. Some other good news about the Norwegian Pearl is late in December 2017, she went in for dry dock, and they did an awful lot of updates on the decor. Every single stateroom got a new fresh look, new furniture, new TVs. They were given USB ports now throughout, new headboards, so it's a much brighter and a much more modern look in every single stateroom on the ship. They've also done some of the main areas. They've done some of the restaurants updated. So there's a whole lot of refurbishment that was done. The pools were refurbished. The hot tubs, if you will, were redone. So if you're about to go on this ship in the near future, you're going to feel like it's almost like a brand new ship, especially in the staterooms, which was great. And those USB ports are really, really handy, because as we all know, one of the biggest things when you're on a cruise ship is finding plugs for all your devices, and having those USB ports and not having to plug it into your laptop and computer, and you have cell phones. So much easier on your cruise and much more relaxing than trying to figure out all your cables all the time. So quickly, a great rundown of the ship is it's all been updated, it's all been modern, it's more of a traditional cruise. It does have a few things, lots of bars, lots of eateries. It's not going to overwhelm you with the amenities on the ship, but it's a quite comfortable ship to be on. And it is also one of the most popular ships in the cruise industry to have charters on. So if you're looking for charter cruises, contact Norwegian and ask them if there's anything going on the Pearl. Hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos and more cruise trips, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, you have yourself a safe and a great vacation.